all broadcasting.
We're ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Wilton Town Board August 6, 2020 meeting. First order of business is a public hearing on the Davidson Water District extension.
Make a motion to set a public hearing? Or is this a public hearing?
No, we're having,
Oh, I'm
we're
sorry.
having the public hearing.
All the attendees have the ability to speak. They're given the permissions. They just have to unmute themselves and state their name and address for the record.
Anybody that want to speak about it? No one wants to speak about it? Is anybody on, Josh, or you don't know?
There's several people on. There's like 5 people on. Nobody has
Any comments?
a comment.
One.
You want to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance?
We have to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody want to make a motion to close the public hearing on the Wilton Davidson Drive Water District?
I'll make a motion.
You got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Let's start with a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, Republic, and
one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Julie, would you do the roll call, please?
I will. Supervisor Lant,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran,
Here.
Councilman Bogardus,
Here.
Councilwoman Culligan,
Here.
Councilman O'Connor.
here.
Somebody want to make a motion to suspend the public comment?
I'll make
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Somebody want to make a motion to approve the pending minutes from last month?
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's better.
Aye. The Davidson Drive Water District. Somebody want to make a motion to pass it? This is not,
You have to do
Hang on.
seeker.
Very good, Julie, right. We can't, the town board can't make a motion to do anything until you first review the environmental assessment form and answer the 11 questions in part 2 of the environmental assessment form. I think you all received those today. The environmental assessment form is a 3-page document that is dated today, August 6th, signed on behalf of Environmental Design Partnership. On behalf of the Wilton Water and Sewer Authority, there's a map attached to it, and there's a letter from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, basically indicating that there's no historic archaeological impact of the proposed water district. Then there's a part 2, short environmental assessment form with 11 questions on it that we have to answer each of, which I'm happy to read them whenever the board wants me to. And the context of this is evaluating potential environmental impacts of creation of the water district as requested by the Wilton Water and Sewer Authority along Davidson Drive.
Yeah.
is this something you do now, Mark, or wait till next month?
You can do it now. You can't take action on the proposed creation of the district until and unless you complete this environmental assessment
Right.
form.
Put it off to next month, you're saying?
No, you can do it now. You can do it now if you like, and I'm ready to take you through the 11 questions if you like.
I would do it now.
Okay.
All right, so each question, there are only 11 of them. I'll read each one aloud. Each question has to be answered by a consensus of the board, not by a motion, not by a formal vote, just by a consensus. So if all 5 of you feel the same way, or 4 of you, or 3 of you, we're good to go on that question. Each question has either of 2 answers, and this is a little complicated, and I don't like the way it's set up, but I'm not the author of it. Each question has choice 1 is no impact, or no or small impact. So if it's no impact, that's the first option. If it's a small impact, that's still the first option. The second option is if it's correct. The second, it does not make sense. The second option is if it's a moderate to large impact. So first choice is no or small impact. Second choice is moderate to large impact. Councilman McCaffrey has pointed out quite appropriately that it doesn't make sense, but that's how it's set up. Whenever you're ready, I'll take us through the 11 questions.
You want to take us through, please?
Okay, question 1. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations?
No or low?
I hear
Agreed.
no or low. Is that agreed upon?
Yes.
Question 2, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land?
No.
No or low.
Okay, we're nowhere low. 3, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
No.
Question 4, we can skip over because we don't have any designated critical environmental areas in the town of Wilton. Question 5, will the proposed action result in an adverse change to the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkways?
No.
No.
Question 6, will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
No.
Question 7, will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies?
Yes.
It is a water supply. So
Let somebody else answer it.
it doesn't seem like a no answer. So let's assume there's not a no, but is it small impact or moderate to large impact?
Small,
Small.
based on the number of units.
So we'll go with no or small.
You need some help, Mike.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Very small.
Will it impact public or private wastewater treatment utilities?
No.
Small impact. Oh, wait,
Okay.
is there sewer there?
No, there's not in Davidson.
Okay, there's no impact then.
Okay, question 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
Or low?
Question 9, will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna?
No.
No.
Small.
Question 10, will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
No.
And the last question, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
No.
Okay, you've answered all the questions, no or small. You've opened and closed the public hearing. You have previously adopted the order to get this far, approving of the map plan and report. So if the board wishes, your next step would be to approve the resolution approving the establishment of Water District Number 1 along Davidson Drive. You have a draft resolution. You don't need to read it aloud, or you can if you want. It's fairly lengthy. But the gist of it is that it incorporates within it that you've made a determination that there are no significant adverse environmental impacts, which is the result of the exercise you just completed. And then it says, most importantly, in paragraph number 3, the town board hereby approves, authorizes, and establishes Water District Number 1. There are 4 conditions, the most important one of which is that by state law, this is subject to permissive referendum, meaning that if anybody objects, they have 30 days in which to file a petition and try to force a vote. And we've already provided the town clerk's office with the notice that'll have to be published if you adopt the proposed resolution.
Mark, do we have to make a negative declaration, or is that just reserved for the planning board?
No, you do, but it's built into the resolution. It's paragraph number 1. It
Okay.
says there will be no significant adverse environmental impacts, and the board hereby authorizes and filing a secret negative declaration.
I'll make a motion to approve the creation of the Davidson Drive Water District.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Number 6, adoption of the LGS 1 retention schedule. Julie, I don't really understand that and didn't have a chance to read it. Would you speak about that, please?
Sure, it's just they're updating the MU1, and that's something that we use when, for storage of records. So the state is just updating it, and they require it to be approved by the board.
Everybody understand?
Julie, to your knowledge, or I know Sue is on as well, are there any major changes to the record-keeping systems, or in any way does it impact your ability
No.
to track our records?
It's all of the governmental entities. It's combining them all. Instead of having one for the county, one for the town, one for cities. So they're just,
Mhm.
I guess, streamlining it.
Okay. Okay. I'll make a motion to adopt the LGS 1 retention schedule.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed.
Who's
We
playing
have a
video?
reappointment of Mark Daly to the Park and Rec Commission. You're getting 9/1/20 to 8/31/23. Somebody like to make a motion to appoint him?
I'll make a motion. to appoint.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. We have Ryan Gidding would like to be appointed to the Ethics Board from 8/6/2020 to 20/31/21. Aaron and Ray spoke with him. I spoke with him. Like, he really
Yes,
wants to help us out. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You opposed? Number 9, Bradley Waiter to be appointed to the Ethics Board also, 8/6/2020 to 12/31/21. Myself, Ray, and Aaron spoke with him. Seemed all right to all of us, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but both, Mr. Gettings and Mr. Weiner were good interviews. So I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Weiner to the Ethics Board.
I'll second. And just for everybody, that's on there, these gentlemen were not sought out by town board members. They actually went on the Town of Wilton website, found that we were looking. They work in law and in insurance, and had great resumes, and we're kind of filling it in. So for people watching, they came independently to the town seeking.
And we still need a couple more people to fill that board, so, right, Julie, we need 2 more?
Right.
So if you know of anybody.
Yeah.
Did we vote on that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Approved. We have a Kristen Clark to be the second alternate to the zoning board from 8/6/2020 to 12/31/2020. I think we all spoke with them.
Mhm.
I'll
You
make
wanna
that
make a-
motion.
I'll second the
I'll make
motion.
the motion.
Clark.
Second,
I'll
I'll
second it.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Number 11, we gotta make a motion to approve the emergency management plan. Did everybody get a look at it?
Yes.
You wanna make a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion that we approve the emergency management plan.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Number 12, rezoning Palmer Town Ridge PUDD to the previous zoning of R3 zone. Motion required, and we have to set a public hearing.
Make a
I'll make
motion
that
to set a public hearing.
Right. I'll second that.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? When should we set the public hearing? Next board meeting, Mark?
Whenever you,
September 3rd, I think.
whenever you like, but that's
Is that
certainly
what you'd
fine.
like to all, is everybody like to do that?
Sure.
That's,
Yep, September?
Somebody got a calendar in front of them?
September 3rd.
All right, we'll have the public hearing for the Palmer Ridge on September 3rd, 7 PM. Number 13, Champlain Hudson Project, that's that line running through the railroad track. I'd like to get it over with and move ahead. If somebody make a motion to move on it.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the transmission line.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Fourteen, did everybody get a look at the fence ordinance we want to try and approve maybe next month?
I did.
Y'all get a copy?
I did.
I guess we've never had one, about time we got one. So if you get a chance to look at it, you got any adjustments you want to make or additions, or just get a hold of Mark Makins and talk about it in September. We don't set a public hearing, right, Julie?
Yes,
We
that'll be
do.
at 7:01.
Make,
Make a motion to set a public hearing September 3rd at 7:01 on the fence ordinance.
I'll second that.
second, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. The committees reports, anybody got anything?
I've got two items. First one is we talked in the past about the town being granted by the state legislature the ability to set its own speed limits. I had an extensive conversation with someone at the Association of Towns who's followed this issue for years. And cities and villages can set their own limits. There's been legislation introduced at the state level, generally by our neighbor to the north, Senator Betty Little, that would put towns in the same category. However, there were a number of towns around the state who did not want to have carte blanche ability to set their own speed limits for a number of reasons, among them being the expense. When you set your own limits, you need to hire an engineering firm, a traffic engineering firm, to do an analysis and a study. And at least from my point of view for right now, I don't know that there are that many instances of disagreements that the town might have, although I'm certainly open to what the other town board members have to say, that many disagreements with state DOT that it necessarily warrants us going out on our own, hiring, on a per case basis, traffic engineers, in order to set our own. So at least for the time being, I would not submit a request to the Assembly and the Senate to grant us, our own authority to set speed limits.
I brought this up with Supervisor Johnson before, and he told me it could be a hassle. And I see at Malta that had it, and their last supervisor, I talked to him about it, and they did it, and he told me he wishes they never did. So it's like Ray said, there's a lot of hassle and a lot of expense to it.
I think we also lose some of the public funding for roads and stuff too as well, don't we?
That's possible.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the connection is we would lose some of our public funding for roads if needed.
And like I said last month, I'm still trying to set up a meeting with the DOT to just see how they figure these
Biggest I would
things
see
out.
is, the biggest I would see is liability. I mean, you set the wrong speed limit and something happens, we're on the hook. We can blame the state now.
That's actually one of the reasons that some towns shy away from doing it.
All right, the signage, I mean, so many feet before a sign, so many feet, direct sight, there's just way too many things. I wouldn't want it. I would go out there and change the sign and not tell anybody and not enforce it if they do speed. I mean, just to slow them down. I mean, it's like a fake stop sign in the middle of,
Gavin Park Road.
right. Unenforceable, but to most people, I mean, it's, locks only keep honest people honest.
Isn't that what happened on the bridge coming down Jones Road toward Dorothy Nolan? Someone was ticketed, realized it was mismarked.
Correct. So, good job, Ray.
Okay.
Thanks for doing all that research.
My pleasure. And the other item real quick is Ryan and I spent an extraordinary amount of time the last few weeks on reviewing the most recent draft of the open space plan. I stopped by the LA group yesterday, dropped off a marked up copy that Ryan and I went through one final time yesterday in detail. And once those amendments are made, I'll make sure all the members of the town board get a copy, as well as Mark at the park and the folks at the Wilton Wildlife Preserve, so everybody has a chance to take a look before recommending any action on it.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
I'll touch on Gavin Park there. I just want to let everyone know, if they don't know, that the ball fields are of the standards that Wilton requires. There's no more danger zones in the infields with the skee ball effect. And aside from the grass, waiting for the grass to grow in, it looks great over there. But the dangers are gone.
Well, the court building, we're pretty much finishing up that. The only thing is I'm revisiting the one entrance that we had to close off last year because of snow and ice melt onto the sidewalk, which made it kind of a dangerous situation for people trying to enter in the northernmost entrance. I'm looking to get a quote to enclose that just as the same way as the southern entrance of the same vestibule. There's talk of snow slides and gutters and stuff, but water is still going to get down on the sidewalk, and we're going to end up closing that entrance anyway. So I have Scott Harrington getting a quote to see if we can completely finish that side to make it uniform on both sides in a closed entry. So that's the only thing on that. And other than that, Scott's got a couple little things to finish off at the pavilion, just some finish work, and then the pavilions will be done completely as well.
I'd like that. What are we doing as far as the water in that? Did we come up with a solution? Are we gonna trench that?
What's that?
So I went there the last time it stormed, and we're getting about 80 or 90 gallons a minute coming into that pavilion during a downpour. And the only solution I can come up with is to cut the grass out and fill it with stone.
All right, I wasn't made aware of that, but we definitely should mitigate that, because obviously in a covered enclosed pavilion, you should not be flooding with water. So
Well,
Apparently, yeah, Mark told us the concrete was not pitched to the outside, so it flows in.
well, that theory's been blown. I took video of it, and the issue is more, the rain gets about 2 inches over the grass and just kind of flows into the building, but it really doesn't go to the middle of it. There's just no place for the water to go. It's more that if anything, the concrete should have been higher, raised up. But the pitch, I didn't see a problem with the pitch. The water would just.
If it was pitched from the middle out, it wouldn't be flowing in. It would, once the water receded, it would go back out, but it's pooling like we saw that day.
Right, the pooling.
Yeah.
But I think with a drain around the outside edge of it, you wouldn't get water in it, period.
Yeah.
And I don't believe gutters, I don't believe is gonna be the issue, or the gutters is not gonna solve the problem. That was coming down in buckets. I don't know if, did you look at it, Ryan?
Yes, Scott Harrington and myself, we've been looking at it, and what you're saying is correct. Around the pavilion, the final grade is set too high.
Right.
The water coming off of the roof does not hit the concrete. It
No.
actually hits the grass just outside the concrete, but the grass is so high and it's not sloped away that it just
Right.
ponds water and then it just flows back into the lower area. So basically around the entire perimeter of the pavilion needs to be reshaped and lowered.
Right.
And we could, put belts and suspenders on there and also put in some drainage along that eave. The problem is, where do we drain it to? We have to,
The back.
drywall. Yeah.
I think that to put a dry well or something behind it in the back would be perfect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it comes at an expense.
Yeah. And I told Scott, it's
I
way
do
too
have
small.
a couple of guys that would like to volunteer to dig that trench and, if we can, but with a smaller machine rather than a dingo instead of a skid steer. Because I don't think you need to go 5 feet out. I think 4 feet's probably plenty, or 3.5 feet. But unfortunately, when it rains, not only is it getting wet, but because the concrete doesn't have a broom finish, it makes it dangerous. It's like walking on ice when it's wet. So
Yeah.
you really have to shut it down after it rains.
Ryan, can you and John handle that in the next 90 days or 30 days?
I'm
Yeah,
running the machine.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you. Thank you.
God save us.
I'll stand far away.
Let me know when, 'cause I want to watch.
I
'Cause
got
I heard about you on equipment, Ryan, so be careful.
happened twice.
Can you do it the last
Buddy.
week in August? I'll be out of town.
Anybody got anything else?
Ryan, you can be my backup peeper.
Anything else?
That's it. I do commend what they did. They got a lot of stuff together in a short period of time to get these kids back out on the fields, and I got
Yeah.
kudos to them all,
Yeah.
everybody. They got the hand wash stations out. I mean, everything we pretty much needed to get these kids out there and playing.
Yes, they did. All of them did.
It's exciting
Did a
to see
great
Gavin
job.
Park alive again.
Sure is.
Right.
We were at Gavin Park a couple nights for baseball. It's nice to see the park alive again.
Yes, sure is. Well, have Mrs. Moran give her controller's report now.
So action item 1 is our budget transfers, where we are simply reallocating our existing appropriations. The first item is we're moving money that's been appropriated for the engineers' capital outlays to make room for some money for a new plotter printer. And the second item is we're taking money from our contingent account for contractual expenditures and moving it to our legal fees. So those are our 2 budget transfers.
How's that feel, Ryan?
Hurts a little.
But you're getting a new plotter printer. Actually, I just got information today related to the cost of that plotter printer. We have an excellent quote, and the cost to lease the plotter printer is so close to the cost to purchase it that I'm leaning toward accepting a lease option, because as the technology is of course getting outdated on our servers, which interact with the technology of the new plotter printer, we just want to keep all of the technologies current at the same time so that we don't have any lag in, one piece of equipment aging while the other equipment is, being updated. So I think a lease would be a better option.
And they would cover anything that breaks during the lease.
Correct.
Right. Even
Right.
better.
Correct. Yes.
Well
Make
done.
a motion, we accept the transfers. 1 and 2.
We want to make a motion to approve 1 and 2 on the budget transfers?
We just did 2, not 1.
Huh?
I make the motion, we approve 1 and 2.
I'll second.
My
Second?
microphone must have went out.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The second item is our budget amendments, and the basic premise for the budget amendments is to recognize the fact that there are some revenues that we know we're not going to be earning because of COVID-19, and the complementary expenditures that would go with those revenues are also not going to be incurred. So we're shrinking the budget. We're not recognizing the revenue, but we're also not going to incur the expenditures. These are for programs such as the Splash Park, which is not going to be used this year. So any revenues and expenditures related to the operations of the Splash Park are not going to be part of our budget. So we're taking them off budget. Also, the basketball program, not happening. So the revenues and expenditures related to the basketball program are being taken off budget. We do have a couple of instances where we have revenue that we did not expect to happen in this year. Last year, we had our storm related to the wind damage. It happened in October. Our budget was already underway before there was a recognition that this was a federally declared disaster. So although we incurred expenses to clean up, we did not anticipate that there would be a revenue in the form of a reimbursement from the federal government. We did receive a check from FEMA, actually through the Department of Homeland Security yesterday. So what I'm doing is recognizing revenue from an unexpected source, and then the flip side is reducing the sales tax reliance. So we're increasing revenue for one item and decreasing revenue on another item. We also have a little bit extra money that we didn't budget for from the county that we're recognizing. So again, a decrease on our reliance for sales tax. And we're taking money from the appropriated fund balance from highway. We had a surplus in our highway at the end of 2019. Part of it is being used to reduce our reliance on sales tax. So that is the
She's not just going after you.
right. It's equal opportunity grabber. Just joking. But this is money that's available so that we can not incur a huge deficit related to lack of revenue from sales tax.
Comptroller Diane, I would just like to thank you for your due diligence on your budget processing. I know we had a projected $1 million shortfall. Your diligence as far as trimming the budget for the current year, fiscal year, and trying to get everything to balance back out. Your skill sets and your knowledge has really benefited the town of Wilton. I personally would like to thank you for the hard work you put in and making us get balanced again. I conversed with you earlier today, and you explained a lot to me, and just thank you for explaining my ignorance to me. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing to keep us fiscally sound in this time of crisis.
I thank you so much. That is so sweet. Thank you.
We and there's a town folks are very fortunate to have Mrs. Moran.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm fortunate to work with all of you, and thank you. I've had input from board members, Ray and John, and other board members have gotten together. We've talked about ways that we can help to trim our capital spending, and we've gotten support from other people in relation to that theory. And the department heads have been so wonderful in terms of just being flexible and understanding that we're trying to really help to save the town. We're coming from a position of strength, though. That is the great news, that for years and years and years, we've had such wonderful town board members. We've had supervisors who have really been fiscally conservative and have enabled the town to just save so much money that we're going to be in good shape. We're okay. Yes, we're cutting expenditures, but we're doing that to be pretty aggressive right now. And then hopefully we can incur these expenses later when times start to, normal out a little bit. But I just want to thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So that was item 2. And
we got all the way down to item 14, down to you taking the money from Kurt.
yeah,
So,
And I believe last month our sales tax check was like 16%.
higher.
more than the previous, so the money is coming back. You know,
I've been in
people
them,
are out shopping again, so that's a good sign too.
Panic
I
spending.
was in them parking lots at Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart, and you couldn't park
Yeah.
despite of the pandemic.
There is a little bit of a catch-up involved. The state had allowed vendors to not file their sales tax reports in the first couple of months of the pandemic. So what we incurred,
They told us a day after though. 'Cause I
yeah.
had to pay mine. I
Oh,
paid it.
and you sent yours in? Good citizen. You're a good citizen. So, so what this, 16%, only 16% represents is the catch-up from the first couple of months that those vendors were getting them in. So do I expect only 16% next month? I don't know. It would be great if we can, do this trajectory upwards, but
28 next month.
They're still full.
that, yeah.
All these will be in soon.
Yeah, that's
I'll make a
that's right.
motion to approve the budget amendments 1 through 14.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Thank you. All right, so the second item is personnel. We have 2 items under that. The first item is Steve Vance has vacated his position effective May 20, 2020. And the second item is that Mark Marino is requesting that Michael Lawback be hired as a full-time maintenance worker. If approved, Mr. Lawback will be responsible for cleaning all of the town buildings. The proposed rate of pay is at step 2, which is $16.16 per hour. And if approved, his hire date is effective August 18th, 2020.
I support, just turn my lights up, A, with the Steve Vance resignation or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think about it.
On B, as far as that Michael, I have a lot of questions, concerns, and I know I need more conversation on it, but I'm not sure if we can table this to next month until we get more clarification on it, but I don't feel comfortable right at this point voting yes to increase Michael Lawback's hours, because I was under a different impression as far as him helping out town hall more as far as sanitizing and stuff. But my understanding is scheduling is going to be different and everything. So I personally would need more clarification as to his hours, work location, and benefits, beneficialness to the town before I vote positive as far as a full-time item. And that's my opinion.
How many additional hours is it per week?
So he would be at a 35-hour per week schedule. We offered him 40. He was not able to take 40. The 40 would have been helpful. Go ahead.
Sorry, what is he at right now that we're looking?
Part-time.
So right now he's about 35 hours.
He's a great
Sorry.
employee.
But
He's a
sorry,
great
for 2,
employee.
his biweekly is about 35 hours biweekly. So let's say 17 and a half a week.
Okay, so he's still going to be putting in, essentially, I'm trying to kind of help Dwayne. I'm trying to hear, this is the first time I've heard what his,
Well, I think what it comes
he's
down to
saying,
is
but these additional hours should offset his change of location. Whether the 17 and a half hours he's already put in at Gavin Park, he's still doing those, plus maybe more, plus some time at Town Hall, correct?
correct. And part of the resolution was he would be cleaning maintenance at all town buildings.
Again, he's a great employee, but my understanding is he's going to be assigned to work weekends, which takes away from our need of weekdays for sanitizing and cleaning of town hall. And again, I need more discussion on this as far as my vote. The gentleman is a phenomenal employee. I've spoke with him. I've seen him work. He's a great employee. I just need more clarification to see if it benefits town hall, town buildings, as opposed to my understanding and different thing. I have a lot of confusions as far as this item.
Are his hours at Gavin Park right now? All at Gavin Park?
His hours, originally he was hired for Gavin Park, solely for Gavin Park. But when COVID hit and we lost Steve Vance. Yeah.
So who's cleaning Town Hall during the week now if it's not him?
Yeah,
It is him.
yeah.
It's him 2 days a week, and the thoroughness of the cleaning is probably, it could be improved with the additional hours that he would be able to give.
So make sure I understand this right. So he currently works 17 and a half hours per pay period every 2 weeks.
35 hours per pay period, yes.
35 per, oh, it's okay. So 17 and a half
He's part-time.
per
Part-time.
week. Okay.
Right.
And so now we're doubling from 35 to 70 hours per pay period.
Correct, yes, yes.
And so, so I'm, without knowing any other details, I'm kind of lost on how, if his presence is going to double, how does that, what's the downside in terms of his service and his
I
ability?
think, Dwayne, you would like to see him full-time at Town Hall and not at Gavin Park on the weekends.
Well,
Probably about 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting like at the court. We weren't happy the way the building's being cleaned because he don't have enough time to do it all. We need somebody with more time up there. We need that building. We need that building. This is a serious virus. We need somebody over to clean that Gavin Park too. You know, that's the main purpose. And we lose it. And we all know we got a problem in Gavin Park. I'm trying to keep everybody happy. So that keeps operating the way we all want it to.
I'm in favor of the taking him from part-time to full-time. I just don't understand whether he's going to be cleaning a building, whether it matters if it's Town Hall, the court building, or Gavin Park. I mean, to me, we're getting a full-time employee who, and eventually we can work out the weekend thing. But right now, I mean, we just need to move on. We need the manpower, and he seems to be the answer. So,
Right, on Traver Road where our complex is, we have 4 buildings that have to be cleaned. You know, senior not so much, but it has to be looked at. She is in there every day,
And the
Robin.
seniors hopefully will be back in time.
yeah,
Well,
we're going to need to hire somebody else as well. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
For now.
I'm in favor as well of making him full-time. And if we need somebody else, afterward, and leave it to, management's discretion, the folks who are there every day, as to whether or not he needs to spend, so many hours, whether it's at Town Hall or in the park. But I'm
it's hard
in
to find a
favor.
good worker. That's the problem. I mean, where do you find a good worker right now?
right.
That's a huge thing. To find somebody that actually wants to work.
Let's go back to that personal on A. We probably should make a separate motion on Steve Vance's vacated position. We want to make a motion to accept that.
Dwayne did already.
No, he didn't. On Steve Vance.
I did not. I'll make the motion. We accept Steve Vance's vacancy to his position.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Somebody want to make a motion on B to hire Mark
Michael.
Bach full-time?
I'll make a motion to hire him full-time.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I oppose it.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 3 is the completion of the internal audits. So I've completed all my internal audits for the departmental reviews, and there are no exceptions. So I'm requesting the town board prepare a resolution to accept my reviews.
I'll make a motion to accept the audit reviews by the controller.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. And lastly, we did have the FEMA reimbursement, which I had already mentioned earlier. We received $10,452.28. That represents 75% of the eligible expenses that we incurred for the windstorm.
Excellent.
No motion.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
You all look so happy. We want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Now I'm happy.
I'll second.
All right.
Now we're happy.
Adjourned. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.